like politics. And then also, like, I was looking at San Diego State. I'm not really a Southern California person, but the school itself was nice and close. You could they have a really good transfer program into UC San Diego.
Okay.
So either of those two, I think.
And Jack, what about you?
I actually don't really have a safety school. I haven't really come up with a list or anything. I probably should go to Leslie's Princeton Review and find my colleges that are like my safety schools, like what they recommend, and then kind of do research on those. But I'm kind of like determined to make it into my schools I want to get into.
Yeah.
And worst case, even if I don't, I can go to a safety school that I feel is right, not necessarily my top choice. And then I know you're probably against transferring, but I could always transfer junior year.
Yeah, we have a local junior college that's very popular in our town. So what a lot of kids end up doing Jack and Leslie don't like it, but a lot of kids end up going there for 2 years, and either for financial reasons or for grade reasons, as in they can't get into a school, and then they can transfer their junior year, which is what one of my friends is doing.
They're guaranteed a transfer to any of the UCs after they've gone to the JC and like done well for 2 years. So it's not that I'm against that school. It's actually a really good idea. I just don't want to stay in Petaluma anymore.
Yeah, and I'm not like against it either. I think it's a great way for students like who haven't really done well in high school. But that's also why I'm kind of like against it. Is that I've been working really hard all like my years, and here's these kids like
just to go to
just for 2 years they're doing as hard as I did for 4 years. They get to go to the UC they want, and it's very cheap. But it is a really good choice. It's just maybe I'm kind of jealous, and I don't really want to stay in Petaluma. But I'm not a big fan of the JC.
And then my safety school is I'm thinking about my like really safety schools as an almost guaranteed admission are, although I love them, they're actually really really good schools, are Evergreen and UC Santa Cruz. And then I have like hard-ish that I maybe might not get into, but I probably will get into. And I think Occidental might be one of those. I think it's like 50%. If I'm wrong, then it's not my safety school. But it's, but like schools, I have a whole list of schools that are kind of that in-between area that I'll probably get into, but maybe not. So then if not, I will go to Santa Cruz or Evergreen. And, University of Portland is one of my, like, probably-ish schools. And Bard is also, like, hopefully, probably. So...
You got a long list there, Abby.
I have a very long list. I actually have, my list is like over 20 schools, but they're very well selected. Like I've actually done a lot of research and I've eliminated a lot of schools. So, yeah.
How many of you are talking with your parents about this? Or maybe in that same respect, how many of you are avoiding talking to your parents about it?
I'm not avoiding it. I'm not like going to them and asking for their everyday advice.
Your mom is really helpful, though. Hasn't she been, like...
Well, I mean, she works at Copperfields, which is our local bookstore, so that's kind of that's where I got the book. And so... but it's not like I avoid talking. I mean, like, they're definitely helpful if I have any questions, but I don't think that they have the most advice either. They're just parents. I mean, they're great parents, but I'm not, like...
Yeah.
With me, like, my mom does ridiculous and excessive amounts of research about colleges, which is very helpful, but can be kind of obnoxious as well.
Don't worry, she's not watching. No one's watching.
We fight about college a lot just because she's like, she does a lot of research and then wants to sit down and like go through every school, and I'm like, yeah, okay, later, and she's like, no, you have to do it now, and I'm like, no, not now.
I'm sorry.
So we've got like, yeah, I don't know. It's like we have a long list, but she's really helped narrow it down because she knows a lot more than I do about the whole thing. So,
Maddie and Kate, what about you guys?
My mom works at Penn University, so she knows a lot about like the college process, and she's the one that really I sit down with and like talk. But she's not really pushy about certain ones. She kind of just listens, and then she helps and does research with me, so it's not that bad.
Would you go there?
Little plug, that's my graduate institution, University of Pennsylvania.
Would you go there?
I love all these schools.
I don't really want to go there because I I mean, I've been with her there, and like I feel like all my doctor's appointments are there because she teaches nursing. So I mean, I've been going there since I was like 5. So I think it would just be like too close to home and just weird.
How about you, Maddie? Your mom and I went to high school together, so watch. Be careful.
Well, my mom's been really helpful with the research and stuff, but my dad's been helpful with like contacting the coaches and stuff. He's like, because he swam in college, so he like kind of knows what I'm going through and like what's like the right thing to like say to the coach and like how to like sell myself to them.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I've been helping out high school students with this whole process for a couple of years, and some students are really engaged in the whole process. They run the whole thing for themselves and bring the family in when they're darn ready to. And others, they just want to avoid it. They just want to shut down and shut off. And somewhere you got to find that in-between stage is that mom and dad are trying to help, but hopefully not too much. And you need to take the charge of this whole process because you're the one who's going to be going there. They're just paying the bill. You're the one that actually has to go and live there your next 4 years, hopefully no more than that. So it's a tough process because there's so many people around you, like right now, who are asking you all these questions, who are trying to engage you and find out how they can help. And it is a tough process, but use as much of the resources as you can, but lead the process. My next door neighbor I helped out through this process last year, and she came up with a great idea, and I've encouraged students to do this all the time because we don't always have time to sit down at that dinner table together and talk about where we are in the process. Every place she visited, she got a refrigerator magnet with the school's logo on it. And she would put them in order as to her preference on the refrigerator. Every once in a while, she'd move them around, and mom and dad would walk by and see that, look, she moved West Virginia up, and she moved this school down. And that's one way you can help communicate kind of where your head is without being drawn into a long conversation that maybe you're not ready for.
Yeah, my parents are the parents who are helping less. They actually think I'm doing too much planning and like too much stuff right now. So
I don't know, what, a podcast that talks about the college search process? Yeah. Maybe a little bit.
No, I know, but because my dad went to Yale, and he ended up like at 16, and he ended up dropping out because it was just really intense and kind of overwhelming. So he's actually like doing the opposite of most parents, and he really is pushing for like a small, secluded liberal arts school that's not like a big like a big name school. Which is not, like, I want to go to Brown. I don't know. My parents are kind of more the parents who are encouraging me to slow down a little with the process. So.
Your dad wants you to stay near home. I know.
Yeah. Well, he wants me to go to Reed, actually. He likes Reed.
Oh, Reed's
a nice
cool
campus.
school.
Reed's a really cool school. It is.
Yeah.
Because Steve Jobs went there. That's why. He's on the whole...
Oh, did he really?
Everything, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's his school. It's a nice school, though. Very unique school.
Yeah. No, definitely. Let's see. Could we...
What kind of questions do all of you have? What kind of things are on your mind now talking about this? What can I help you with? I didn't kind of introduce my background here. I actually worked in admissions for about 15 years. So
okay. Well, actually, I have a question.
So I've been on the other side of things. I've actually been on both sides of the table. Now I'm the parent. About 410 colleges are my clients, so I deal with them in that respect. But, I'm going through the same thing well, your parents are going through, too. So what kind of questions can I help you with? What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, where did you work in admissions?
I worked at Albright College, which is where I graduated
from
undergrad, and I also worked at LaSalle University,